She made more money than most company bosses, got more respect than the top judges in America, and was the queen of daytime TV for 25 years. Judge Judy wasn't just a TV show. It was a huge deal that turned Judy Sheindlin into one of the most powerful women on television. But here's what nobody talks about. At 82, the woman who could make anyone shut up with just one look now sits in huge houses so quiet you can hear the emptiness bounce off the walls. The same tough attitude that built her success might have broken the relationships that meant the most. And the choice she made to chase fame left painful marks that millions of dollars can't fix. What really happened to the judge who once had America listening to every word she said? And why does the life she's living now look nothing like the success story we all thought it was? The truth is sadder than you'd ever think. Judith Susan Bloom wasn't born with power. She grew up in Brooklyn in 1942, the daughter of a dentist father she loved and a practical no-nonsense mother who taught her that words meant nothing and actions told the real story. That lesson would shape everything that came next. But before the fame, before the millions, before America even knew her name, Judy was just another young lawyer trying to find her spot in a world that didn't want women in courtrooms. After becoming a lawyer in New York in 1965, she got what looked like a good job as a company lawyer for a makeup company. She was 23, had big dreams, and ready to prove herself. But within 2 years, she realized something that would bother her for decades. She hated every minute of it. The work felt pointless. The days went on forever, and deep down, she knew this wasn't what she was supposed to do. So she made a choice that shocked everyone around her. She quit, just walked away from a safe job to stay home with her 2 young kids, Jamie and Adam. For 5 years, she tried to convince herself that being a full-time mom was enough, but it wasn't. The restless feeling kept eating at her. By 1972, when a friend told her about an opening for a lawyer in New York's family court system, Judy didn't think twice. She jumped back in. And this time, everything felt right. Family court was tough, emotional, and hard. Cases about abuse, neglect, custody fights, the kind of work that broke most people. But Judy did great. She wasn't there to make friends or make things sound nicer than they were. She was there to cut through the lies and deliver justice fast and final. Her reputation grew quickly. By 1982, New York Mayor Ed Koch saw her work and made her a criminal court judge. 4 years later, she got promoted again to head judge of Manhattan's family court. She had a style nobody could ignore. Smart, straight to the point, and completely honest. Some called her mean, others called her brilliant. But everyone agreed on one thing. You did not lie to Judge Judy Sheindlin. Then came 1993 and everything changed. A reporter from the Los Angeles Times wrote an article about this firecracker judge in New York who was shaking things up. The story became really popular. Producers at 60 Minutes saw it and invited her on the show. When America watched that segment, they couldn't look away. Here was a woman who didn't play games, didn't waste time, and didn't care if you liked her or not. She was real in a way television had never seen before. In 1996, television producers came to her with an idea, a courtroom reality show with real cases and real decisions. On September 16th of that year, Judge Judy started. Within weeks, it was getting millions of viewers. Within months, it was a huge hit. At its best, the show got 9 to 10 million people every single day, sometimes even beating Oprah in the ratings. Judy became more than a judge. She became an icon. Her sayings, her stare, her whole presence became part of American culture. And the money, it was crazy. By 2005, she was making $25 million a year. By 2008, that jumped to $45 million. And by 2017, she was earning $147 million every year, making her the highest-paid person on television. Not just in daytime, on all of television. She filmed only 52 days a year, which meant she was making close to $900,000 for each day of work. But here's what nobody saw coming. While Judy was building an empire on screen, the base of her personal life was quietly falling apart beneath her feet, and the cracks were about to become impossible to ignore. Success in public doesn't promise happiness at home. And for Judy Sheindlin, the higher she climbed, the more she lost along the way. Her first marriage should have been a hint about what was coming. In 1964, fresh out of school, she married Ronald Levy, another lawyer who seemed like the perfect match. They had 2 kids together, built what looked like a stable life. But underneath, something was really wrong. Ronald never took her career seriously. To him, her work was a hobby, something she did to keep herself busy. That might have been okay in another time, but not to Judy. She had fought too hard to be treated like that. The anger built slowly year after year until the marriage finally fell apart in 1976. After 12 years together, she was suddenly a single mother, raising Jamie and Adam on her own while trying to build a legal career in a system designed to keep women out. The next year, she met Judy Sheindlin, a defense lawyer with a sharp mind and a personality that could match hers blow for blow. The chemistry was instant. They married in 1977 and seemed perfect for each other. Both were tough. Both understood the law. Both did well under pressure. But even the strongest connections can break under the right kind of stress. In 1990, Judy's father died. Murray Blum was the man she called the greatest thing since sliced bread. Her hero, her rock. When he passed, Judy fell apart. She needed Jerry to step up, to be there for her in a way he'd never had to before. But Jerry didn't know how to give her what she needed. He was a man who lived by logic and rules, and grief doesn't follow either of those things. Frustrated and overwhelmed, Judy gave him an ultimatum. When Jerry responded with a challenge instead of kindness, she filed for divorce the very next day. The split shocked everyone. But here's the thing about Judy. She doesn't do anything without being sure. If she files for divorce, she means it. Except this time, she was wrong. Within a year, they both realized the divorce was a mistake. They missed each other. They needed each other. In 1991, they remarried. And this time it stuck. They've been together ever since, building a blended family of 5 children, 3 from Jerry's previous marriage, Gregory, Jonathan, and Nicole, and Judy's 2. But being married didn't solve everything. In fact, as Judge Judy exploded in popularity, Judy faced a problem that fame couldn't fix. She was never home. The endless filming schedule, the constant pressure to keep up her image, the non-stop pace of production meant she missed nearly everything that mattered. School plays, family dinners, birthdays, the small moments that build a childhood. Years later, she would admit that her biggest regret was not being there enough for her kids. She carried that guilt everywhere, a weight that no amount of success could lift. One of her close friends said that Judy constantly blamed herself, always wondering if she'd done enough, always knowing the answer was no. Then in 2011, something happened that forced her to face her own mortality. During a live taping, Judy suddenly started mixing up her words. Her face went blank. The sharp, quick woman America knew vanished in an instant. Production stopped. Paramedics rushed in. She was taken to the hospital where doctors gave her the diagnosis. She'd had a mini-stroke, a transient ischemic attack that could have been much worse. She got better quickly, but the scare changed something. She started working out daily, changed her diet, began taking medicine to prevent another stroke. But she didn't slow down. If anything, she pushed harder as if trying to run away from the reality that time was catching up. Today, her 5 kids are grown with lives of their own. Family gatherings are rare. The distance between them isn't just physical, it's emotional, built from years of being away that can't be undone. Even bringing her granddaughter Sarah Rose onto Judy Justice as a law clerk felt like an attempt to get back something she'd lost. A way to pass on a legacy to someone who might actually remember her being there. But the damage was done. And as Judy's fame grew, so did the list of people who felt left behind, including the one person who had stood by her side for over 2 decades, and the controversies that would make people question everything they thought they knew about her. 4 years, Judge Judy was untouchable. Millions trusted her. Networks paid her a fortune. She seemed protected from the kind of scandals that destroyed other careers. But every empire has cracks, and Judy's were about to become impossible to ignore. The first real hit came from inside her own production. Former staff members started speaking out, and what they described was disturbing. They painted a picture of a workplace filled with harassment, unfairness, and fear. Much of the criticism centered on Randy Douthit, the show's longtime executive producer. Accusations against him included inappropriate behavior, verbal abuse, and creating an environment where speaking up meant losing your job. One producer, Courtney Bullock, filed a lawsuit claiming she'd been harassed and then pushed out after complaining. Other former employees backed up her story, adding that there was a troubling pattern behind the scenes. Some even said that racial bias influenced which cases made it to air, with instructions to avoid booking too many black litigants in a single episode. These weren't just rumors. Court documents and media reports laid it all out. And the question everyone asked was, how much did Judy know? She claimed she had no knowledge of any misconduct, defended her team publicly, and continued to support Douthit. But for someone who built a career on accountability, her response felt empty to critics. They argued that, as the face of the show, she had responsibility not just for what happened on camera, but for what happened behind it, too. Then there were the cases themselves. One dispute became famous online, known simply as the herpes case. Judy awarded $5,000 to a woman who claimed her ex-boyfriend had knowingly infected her. The ruling was quick and final, except there was a problem. The man later showed medical evidence proving he didn't have herpes at all. The ruling was wrong. Publicly, embarrassingly wrong. Critics attacked. They argued this wasn't a one-time mistake, but proof of a bigger pattern. Judy made quick judgments based on emotion and performance rather than evidence. For a show that claimed to deliver real justice, it was a damning revelation, and it raised an uncomfortable question. How many other rulings had been just as careless? Over the years, more viewers started noticing things they hadn't before. Litigants who struggled to express themselves, those who spoke broken English, people without formal education were often cut off mid-sentence, made fun of, or dismissed. What once seemed like tough love now looked like cruelty.